Member Senator Lummis.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Hey, I'm so pleased to have the opportunity to visit with you, Ms. Trottenberg. I looked at your record, and it's obvious that you have extensive experience in urban transportation matters. But I represent a rural state, Wyoming, and our transportation needs are vastly different from those of the Northeast. So what experiences have you had dealing with rural transportation issues?
Senator, thank you for the question. And, prior to my time at New York City DOT, I was for 5 years an official at US DOT and got involved in transportation projects all around the country, large and small, including some in the beautiful state of Wyoming, and also spent many years here on Capitol Hill and was involved in several of the transportation bills that, really tried to bring together, I think, the interests of all parts of the country, cities, rural areas, small towns. So I've had a lot of experience working on the surface transportation roadway side issues all over the country, as well as aviation issues, which you have issues at large airports, but I know also very important issues in terms of making sure that you have robust rural service as well.
Well, thank you. I'm going to follow on that line of discussion because highways, surface transportation, is the most important transportation opportunity and corridors in Wyoming. Roughly, I think 93% of those funds is distributed by the current highway funding formula. I'll tell you that my state of Wyoming generally is very pleased with the current highway funding formula. It provides adequate flexibility within various categories for them to plan 5 years down the road and then some, as you know, is necessary. So my question is, do you believe the current highway funding formula provides the kind of parity between urban and rural areas that is ideal, or at least can be retained by the incoming administration at DOT?
I certainly think, Senator, the surface transportation program has, over the years, served the country well. I think it has been a compromise in terms of urban and rural, highways and transit. I know the Biden administration is, and I'm not in the door yet, haven't been confirmed, but I know they're starting to look at what their priorities will be for reauthorization. I certainly know that the president and the secretary want to make sure that when we're investing in surface transportation, that we are doing it in a way that serves all parts of the country and that there will be a focus on rural areas.
Well, we'll want to continue to work with you as those discussions emerge. And I also want to visit just briefly about the other 7% that is not distributed by the funding formula, and that's the discretionary grant programs. Will you commit to review the discretionary grant programs to ensure that urban and rural areas have the opportunity to participate in parity within the eligible criteria?
I will, Senator, and one thing I was just speaking to your colleagues about, also making sure that the department is being as helpful as it can be to communities large and small, urban and rural, tribal governments as well, to help compete for those programs, that you can get the technical assistance that you need ahead of time to understand the requirements and the pitfalls, and to the extent that you have an application that isn't successful, that the department works with you afterwards to understand what you could do better to help a given community or transportation agency compete successfully.
That sounds great. Thank you. One last question. What efforts is DOT taking to identify the reasons behind cost increases and project overruns, and then to mitigate those costs and those issues?
I mean, it's something I think the Secretary spoke about, and I'll echo his words and add my own. He made a point of saying, the administration and shared with Congress has a lot of important transportation goals, but we also do have to make sure that we are doing things as efficiently as we can. And again, as someone who's run a local transportation agency, you feel that pressure to deliver your projects on time and on budget, and you're always looking for ways that you can be smarter and more efficient. I think there is a lot we can do in our transportation system to make those very vital transportation dollars go further. An area, if confirmed, would certainly welcome the opportunity to work with members of Congress on.
And we with you, Ms. Trottenberg. Trottenberg, I supported the nomination of the secretary and look forward to working with him and with you going forward. So thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Thank you, Senator Lummis.